Hello guys, sorry I've not been in touch for a while. It's these continual heat waves we've had. I really haven't had much time to do any modelling, so had a little accident with the Wessex, but it's not beyond repair. Obviously, if you've been following my Facebook page, you've obviously seen the post of the progress on that. Unfortunately, the rotor blades got smashed. One of the undercarriage legs has come off, so it's a case of a little bit of repair, and because I've got a backup kit, I'll be able to do a rebuild and repair of this. So hopefully after I've done this video I'm going to get cracking on that. Anyway, for the time being, what we're going to do, the thing I haven't done in a while, is an inbox review, and obviously I've got a very famous subject here, the B52, this specific version being the latest, the B52H, which, as we know, is being used for the war on Iran, or should I say something else, but I won't, because I'm not going to get into politics, because I've got my thoughts on that, and I'm not going to air them on it, because the main purpose is about the enjoyment of the hobby, and I don't want to be sidetracked, because I'll go into an official rant, and we don't want that happening. Anyway, in principle, this is one of the longest serving airframes in the US Air Force inventory. I mean, the very first model was the A, B, C, and D. Well, I mean, the A and the B and the C were introduced in the 50s, in the early 50s, obviously to replace the B36 Peacemaker, and obviously eventually replaced the B47 Stratofortress in SAC. It's had quite an exceptional record. It was first used in anger during the Vietnam War on the linebacker raids, and incidentally, if you want to get an earlier version, the D version, which was involved in that, Academy also would do that version as well. It was a case of, I in between this kit and obviously you've got the Great War Hobby kit, which is extremely detailed. That's the G model. This is the latest, which is the H, and obviously the cheaper of the two, and I bought this one on eBay because I was so impressed with the Academy Stratofortress, which I got in. I thought, well, I'm going to get the buff as well, and obviously it was used during both Gulf Wars, and obviously in Libya, and obviously in Afghanistan, and now it's being used on the war in Iran. And they're obviously flying out of Fairford at the moment, along with the B1O, which incidentally Academy also have in their inventory of 144th bombers, which I'll probably get at a latter stage, along with the B2 stealth bomber. But yeah, I've had a preliminary look at this kit. Very impressed with it. The level of detail is beautiful. I would say, if not on an equal par with the Great War Hobby kit. The only thing I've heard about is obviously their decals can be something to be desired, but I've got some UMP decal solution, medium strong and very strong to combat this, so I don't think I'm going to have a problem with the decals on this, as I want to get around to building it. Anyway, without further ado, I'm going to finish with the ramble and get on with the review. So if you want to get hold of this kit, the kit number is 12622, so if you want to take a screenshot of that at its angle so you can get the kit number in case you want to buy this bird, and we'll go ahead with the review. Now, for the purposes of this video, what I did was unbox all the sprues, so we'll go through each sprue at a time. So first off, before I do that, I should go through the instruction sheet. Quite comprehensive. It comes in a little A3 pamphlet, as you can see there. You've got all the warning signs of don't cement, opposite, hole, caution, instant cement, don't eat it, don't smell it, etc. And then beneath that you've got your colour call outs in how many brands? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colour brands. I do have some Vallejo and AK. No Revell, Life Colour as well, so that's 8, 7 brands. So yeah, you've got quite a mixed bag there if you want to get the colour matches exactly right. So there's not a problem. And then on the back of the actual pamphlet, you've got the sprue, you've got the sprue tree call outs as well, so you can check that everything is on your kit. Excuse me. It's very dry, so you have to bear with me on it. Anyway, the first stage unusually is to start on the bomb bay, believe it or not. So you put all the bulkheads in, as you can see there, and then on the second stage is the assembly of all the both the undercarriage bogies, okay, which then go into the bays appropriately. And then obviously you've got the assembly of the cockpit there, which you've already got moulded seats in. Flight engineer, co-pilot and pilot himself. And then obviously what you do, you got some bombs, put them to the bomb racks, and then they go straight into the bomb bay, which you see there. Then with the fuselage halves, you've got the side panel detail for the undercarriage and the bomb bay. And then you fit the bomb bay and the actual cockpit into the right hand side of the fuselage half. And then obviously you do the assembly of the internal detail for the left hand side, and then put the two body halves together. Now for some reason it's telling you to cut these two pieces off. I don't know why, but maybe that's related to an earlier model. And then if you want it in flying mode, obviously you've got the two bulkheads which go on the bottom there, and the undercarriage doors up. If you want the undercarriage doors down, that's the angle it should be at as a reference. And then obviously you've got more detail which goes in the interior of the undercarriage bays. Fuselage halves go together, as I say. Then you fit the undercarriage main central doors on. And if you want it in flight mode, obviously you've got that with the bomb bay hatch closed. And then obviously going on to the wing halves and the elevators which go on. And it's giving you a colour call out for the internal wheel skid bay as well. Wings go onto the fuselage, as you can see there. And then you've got the fitment of the undercarriage door bays for the skids, the skid wheels. You can see the end of the wings, because it's quite a lengthy old wingspan on this. And then obviously you've got the fitment of the engine as well, each engine, as you can see there. Fit them to the fuselage, the underneath of the actual wings, as it were. And then there's the assembly of the bomb rack, outer bomb racks, which you can see there as well. Wealth of detail as well. Or if you want to, you put ECM pods, etc. So you've got the mixture of the two, which go in the middle of the wing, and then obviously you've got the fitment of the wing tanks as well. Rear tail planes, then they go onto the tail, etc. You've got the upper part of the nose, which goes onto the fuselage. Obviously you've got all the antennae, etc., which goes onto the fuselage, and then obviously the fitment of the canopy, which is totally clear. And the good thing on this is actually they've given you a guide, a template to cut out your masking tape to go over the actual canopy when you go to prime and paint it. So fair play to you, Academy. And then obviously you've got the colour call out and the placement of all the stencils, which you can see there for both variants. And underneath the wing, underneath the fuselage as well, where you've got the actual ECM pods. And then obviously you've got the colour, you've got the three versions, two from the same bomber squadron, Memphis Belle 4, 2nd Bomb Wing, Barksdale Air Force Base 2018, which is probably the version I will do. And obviously a loco of the same bomber group, Barksdale Air Force Base 2018. Now, I think this is the group that's flying out of Fairfield at the moment, so I'll probably do it as one of them. And then obviously the alternator is the 69th Bomber Squadron, Mino Air Force Base 2018 as well. Okay, and that is the assembly. Right, we're going to have a look at the screws there. Let me just see. Okay, right. Two I'm going to keep in there because they're just duplicates. Yeah. I think that's right. Hang on. Bear with me. 2, 3. There we go. Right. First off, we've got the engine pods and assembly for the engines, which you can see there. Nice blades, which you can see there for both the exhaust and intake blade as well. Beautifully detailed, lovely panel line detail on there, and obviously you've got your bomb load as well, undercarriage doors, your wheels, which aren't weighted, so you may have to sand the bottom of those just to sort of replicate the weight of the aircraft. Obviously you've got your bomb load there, ECM pod again. Look at the level of detail on that, even for 1/44th, that's quite impressive. And then there's more here. Again, you've got your bomb loads, your wheels, undercarriage bays. There's a little bit of mould panel line detail which you can probably fill in and just sand, it's not a problem. Again, lovely panel line detail on the engine pods themselves. So that's that. They've even got the bomb racks as well. Look at that. And the other screw, you've got the cockpit, which you've got the engineer's seats, co-pilot and pilot. That's about it. But to be honest, by the time you get the canopy mast up and that, you're not going to see a lot anyway. One of your bomb racks with ECM pods on it, or missile, I would say, jammers. Part of the internal workings of the bomb bay, and I mean, look at the exquisite detail of that. Isn't that superb? And even the bulkheads for the bomb bay. Look at the detail on it, and they've even got a radio rack there as well. Look, wow. Again, there's more of your bomb racks there. Obviously, partly a lower part of the fuselage with various lumps and bumps on it. The undercarriage is quite impressive as well on the detail on that for this scale. And again, you've got the bomb bay and undercarriage bays there, which you can see. Again, look at the wiring and everything on it. It's just immaculate. That'll come out beautifully with a wash and a little bit of dry brushing. So yeah, I'm really impressed with this, guys, even for this scale. I'm not quite sure what they are. I think they're internal workings, so they're, again, the actual bomb bay and undercarriage bays. And then obviously this one, they're telling you to cut these off for some reason. I'm not sure. Maybe that's related to the earlier D version, I don't know. And obviously you've got the undercarriage bay doors for your skids at the end, on the end of the wing, which you can see there. So when you take them off, be very, very careful that they don't ping off and the carpet monster has them. So yeah. Now we come on to the fuselage halves. Again, look at the panel detail on it. Absolutely exquisite. Beautifully cast. I might do a bit of weathering on this, but I'm not going to go over the top, as it were. Although on the Great Wall Hobby version, I think you've got a little bit of skin stressing on it, whereas this one doesn't depict it. But yeah, it's beautifully done. And even on the internal workings in some areas, I mean, look at that. lovely interior detail for the old wheel bay there, look. Nicely done. And even the rear wheel bay as well. Beautifully done. Alright, and then obviously you've got your wing tanks as well, which obviously helps extend the range of the buff. So yeah, nicely done. And then the sprue here with the wings. Now look at the amount, look at the length of the wings compared to my hand. It's virtually outstripping the size of my hand. That's how big this lump's going to be. Right, that's the upper wing. Again, you've got some lovely detail there. Lower wing with the actual skid bay there as well. Exquisite, absolutely exquisite. And obviously you've got your elevator there as well. That's one of your tailplane halves there. They come in 4 halves, etc. There you go. And that's that. And then obviously, last but not least, if I can find it, and I'm keeping it in the bag so it doesn't get damaged, we have the canopy itself. Now what I might well do here is I might use a little bit of sprue for the windscreen wipers on that, which isn't hard to do, or stretch sprue or something like that I might use. But again, just look at the level of clearness in that. I mean, you're going to see a little bit into the base, so it's not surprising they've done some seating in there. But again, beautifully done. And as I say, you've got a template there if you want to cut out the masks for it for when you paint it. So there you go. Then lastly, you've got your decal sheet for both variants. Obviously you've got your stencils, etc. And obviously you've got the insignia which goes on the tailplanes there, and obviously your group badges as well, squadron badges. Memphis Bell 4, which is probably the one I'm going to do, and then obviously your tailplane lettering. So yeah, nice. As I say, I've heard Academy decals can be a bit of a bugger. But as I say, to combat that, I've got my UMP decal solutions. So they're medium, strong, soft, medium, and strong. So yeah, we'll see what comes of that. As I say, it's as you've seen there, it's the detail on it for 1144 kit is just exquisite, absolutely exquisite. And I should imagine once it's built, it's still going to be an impressive lump to sit on the side of your cabinet. I might even get them out the other 2 kits, the B2 Stealth Bomber and the Bone later on. So yeah, it does look nice. It does look nice. I mean, I've got their Strato tanker, obviously, because this is the second Academy kit I've got in my stash. But to say, I'm very impressed with the kit, the level of detail on it, and yeah, it's definitely a build that's going to come along at some stage. And if you want to buy one of these, I heartily recommend, if you don't want to fork out for the Great Wall Hobby kit, go for one of these. Just as beautiful. Anyway, that's it for now, guys. So until the next time, get kit crazy, happy modelling, and obviously in this heat, keep yourself hydrated. Your room aired, possibly with 2 fans if you got, or a little air conditioning unit which you can sell. They get them at range. I got mine via my girlfriend off of TikTok for 15 quid, and I've kept my blind down to keep the heat out, so that I've still got a comfortable environment for me to model. So anyway, take care of yourselves, and I'll speak to you soon. Cheers.